Everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. And after last night, man, I'm still recuperating. So let me bring in my man Talent in the building. T, how you feeling this morning, man? How you feeling?
Fantastic, man. Welcome to my world. See, you recuperate, huh?
Yeah, I'm suffering.
Young boy.
I'm suffering, bro.
You rookie?
Yeah, yeah. There's no shame in my game, man. The drive there and back is a tough assignment, man. Fig is in the building too, man. What's up, Fig? How you doing, bro?
Hey, man, what's going on? I'm not a rookie, but, man, I'm tired.
The rookie, man. What are y'all tired of, bro?
Yo, man, I'm tired of sleeping. That's what I'm Hey, yo, I went to bed last night. Got a hotel room and everything. Yo, man, as soon as this show's over, I'm taking a nap.
Yeah. I probably do the same thing. But see, unlike you, you was at your home. I drove 3 hours there and drove 3 hours back. But you know, let's back up. What we're talking about is we did
3 hours.
well, 3.5. We did a show live last night in Caroline's, man, and I want to thank you guys officially on while we talk about this, man. You guys literally destroyed, man. You know, the show. Fig been telling me for 6 months to a year, man, we need to do the show live on stage. It's a different energy, and one thing I can say is definitely he was right. And it's a Box Seats Live is great to do this here, but Box Seats Live doing it at comedy clubs is a different thing, man. It's a different thing.
Well, the best thing that happened in the whole show last night, Fig did the impossible. Fig had a word of silence. And let me tell you something. I've been doing this 31 years. I've had all types of sad stuff happen. You had to have a moment of silence over here. But I've never, in the history of these moments, seen anybody have a word of silence.
Hey, man, listen. I'm a creator. I create.
You definitely are a genius. You're a genius. You're godson.
See, you got to explain it to people last night who didn't make the show with the word aside, what that even means, because people.
Because there's no such thing. Like,
right.
Fig made a mistake. He was supposed to mean, let's have a moment of silence. And he said, let's have a word of silence, which is a total contradiction of the whole. To have a word is to not have silence.
Right.
You're supposed to not speak for a minute, have a moment of silence. But Fig said, let's have a word of silence. Blew me away. I looked in my dream. I looked around. Is anybody else? We're just gonna let this go like this didn't happen? How do you have a word of silence?
I will have my moment.
And we called it back 3 times after that. It's hilarious.
Man, the show. I gotta say this too. The show doing it live on at a comedy club was a different experience, man. It doesn't even compare to doing it like this. I don't know what happened to him. It doesn't even compare to doing it.
Let me tell you this. There was nothing funnier last night than, see, they want to laugh.
Yo, you terrible, yo.
Speaking of shit, they want to laugh.
There's nothing funnier than that last night. I don't care what nobody say.
Dave, the business bully is in here too, bro. Dave, how you doing?
What up, man? Absolutely awesome.
Thank you for joining the show, man, and thank you for coming out last night. You drove up.
Thank you, Dave.
How long was your drive? Dave, how long was your drive from you?
From my house, about an hour and a half. So it's not bad at all.
Wow, that's not bad.
But this is what we do, Dave. So you ain't worn out, right?
No, not at all.
What we do, right? These 2 light-skinned lames over here.
Here we go.
Talking about,
I'm so sore.
Here we go.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'm just feeling a little sleepy because I didn't get a lot of sleep. I got up and got out of there at the crack of dawn because
this is why I don't understand why you get a room. I'm never gonna understand. When I book you out of town, I can't give you a room, bro. You're the only dudes I know that don't really utilize the room. Crack the door.
Yeah, because I was in New York. If I'm somewhere else, it's a different story. If I'm in New York, yeah, man, I ain't getting stuck in rush hour traffic in New York's in Manhattan. You crazy? I got up out of there. But yeah, if I'm somewhere else, I chill. And I get there early, so I get a lot of rest before the show.
So T, I'm gonna get ready to get the show started, but let me just give a shout out to all the ladies and gentlemen who watched the show who weren't able to make it out last night, man. Hopefully we get you to see you all coming to the next one. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about that as we wrap up the show. But T, you get ready, you always kick off the show, and I'm gonna throw this out to you, T. So you always get the first one. So let's set it off. Here we go. The first story I got, man, is one of a person who we had formerly on this show is making the news, talent. Kenny Lofton. Remember Kenny Lofton? My man Kenny Lofton?
Yeah.
Kenny Lofton's in the news. For those of you who don't know, he's a Major League Baseball player. He used to play for the Red Sox. He played 1 year for the Red Sox. He played for the Cleveland Indians for years. He got accused of exposing to a female employee of his company one of those Richard picks. You know what I mean? So the female employee
Richard.
With those Richard picks, the former employee, because Kenny Lofton owns an investment firm. He co-owns an investment firm, so he ended up sending her one of those Richard picks, and she's suing him. So tell me what you think about when you hear about this news, because I don't think brothers understand, especially athletes. You can't do this because if somebody changes their mind, they're gonna tell the world. I mean, that's just my take. You know what I mean?
I think they know that. I think they know that, Frank. I think at this point, in this stage of the game, I think people just going for it, man. It's like, I'm gonna go for it because here's the thing. It's the thing called in the moment, and nobody acts on in the moment more than athletes when it comes to sex, or like they feel an attraction to somebody. And in that moment, if they feel like the feeling's mutual or reciprocated, they go for it. And like you said, I agree with you. People change their mind, change the whole dynamics of it. Now you look like a creep instead of a guy who thought he had a mutual thing going. But at least let's look on the bright side, Frank. At least he waited he's a former player. He didn't do it in his heyday, so to speak. So maybe I give him a little more respect. Like, okay, you're not risking as much. Your career is pretty much over. You did what you did. Your name's in the record books and all that. But I think people just go for it, Frank, at this point. You got these older guys who grew up in a different time, and they do what they're used to being doing. What do they always say? When you're old, you're set in your ways.
Right. I think Fig, I think he's very set in his ways, and that's what I think might be the problem. But you can't send those Richard picks to anybody and think that unless I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Talent said some things that's 100% wrong. I don't know. I don't think you send those kind of pictures to anybody who's an employee. I just don't think you do it.
Here's the thing. It's kind of strange because single people, by and large, just where you meet your significant other, a lot of times it's at the workplace. And I'm just saying, if you're attracted to a woman and y'all having conversation and you feel like a mutual attraction, then I don't get it, man. All right. She may have been offended. The first time you sent a Richard pick, the young lady may have been offended. Say, hey, look, we had a pleasant conversation, but I think you're taking it too far. Just don't do it again. Mm-hmm. But somebody sent you a Richard pick and now you want to sue them because they sent you a Richard pick. That's to me, that's just a money grab. Because think about this. Women want equality, right? If a woman sends a man a picture of her hoo-ha, if you will, or a breast photo, which guy do you think is going to sue the woman if she's in a higher position than you? Just say you work for a company and the young lady and the person that owns the company is a young lady. So she sends you a picture of her private area or a breast photo. How many men do you think would sue her?
Yeah,
because she sent it. So my question is, what level of equality do you really want? Because men don't do that. That's not what we do. We won't do something like that. So do you want to really be equal, or do you just want to play a game?
Craig, you open up a can of worms for a different kind of topic, but I understand what you're saying. You make it a lot of sense. the money of this that's getting ready to happen. You know, we got a business person on the panel. His name is Business Bully. You know, I'm gonna throw it out there to you. I can only imagine the amount of money that's getting ready to cross. You know, transactions from one bank account to the next bank account. But Dave, you tell me what you think. What's your thoughts on this?
A few things, Frank. First and foremost, if I was, Jimmy the groundskeeper, if I was, Craig the what do you call it, janitor, right? If I'm Billy in the mailroom and I say something to you and you don't like me or you don't find me attractive, you're blind. But the truth is, I'm broke, so you're not really interested. Um, the thing that I need you to understand. Oh, see, look, they do want to laugh. So what I find interesting in this, Frank, is that we have to keep in mind that this is completely based on other people's opinions. Because if Idris Elba has sent a picture of Richard Simmons or Little Richard, we don't know which, this would not have been an issue. So it's only an issue because either she was never attracted to him or he doesn't quite measure up, Frank. So as a result, we have these situations. But my whole thing is this. All of this can be solved with some paperwork. And I'm not talking about anything fancy. I'm not talking anything that requires a lawyer. I want to give you some Richard. Would you like some? Yes, no, circle one. That way you know before you send a picture. I feel like there should be some preemptive, like some preliminary conversations.
Yeah. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Yo, before we go on and before I throw the next thing out to town, I gotta give a big shout out to Renee. She came out last night, T. I don't know if I introduced you to her, T, I think. And she took out some great. She came in and helped us out last night. She took some amazing pictures. She got some great video, everything else. You know, it was great to meet somebody who always watches the show. But now I got to see what's going on with Alfreda and Drusilla and all the rest of the family out there. Y'all got to come to the next show. Y'all got to come to the next show. We got to get y'all.
A must.
Yeah, y'all got to come to the next show. All right, so talent. I was watching ESPN this morning, man. Nick Saban got up on ESPN this morning, and Deion Sanders got up this morning. They were talking to ESPN reporters, and they were saying that they don't like the NIL. The NIL is where the players are getting paid for basically their name, their image, their likeness, and they're monetizing social media posts and by signing autographs and participating in advertising. Deion Sanders came out this morning and said that it's taken their focus off of school and trying to make it to the NFL. And he does not like the players getting paid at all. Whereas I was like, I thought that you would have been liking that because that way it gives your players an ability to make some change. You know what I mean? Especially these HBCU players. But he was totally against it. What's your take on this, Steve?
I don't like it because here's the problem. The whole point of why we got here is because for a very long time, these athletes couldn't make any money, right? They're not getting paid for it. So the endorsements or being able to capture some sort of money during those years is to help the players, right? So everybody's been fighting for this in a long time. Now that Deion is in the HBCU situation, it's sounding like, by you not liking this, it's sounding like you want to do the same thing they've been doing to the players, but on the black side, on the black hand side. So I've always had a problem with people fighting for one thing, but going as far as to doing the same thing that the oppressor was already doing. You know what I mean? It's like you can't say I want equal job opportunity, but then you want to take the job from the other people. Then you're doing the same thing you said they was doing to you. They're suppressing and oppressing you. So now you get in position and you do the same thing for a different cause or person. I don't like it.
Honestly, I can't disagree with what you're saying. Fig, how are you looking at it? What's your perspective?
First off, I know plenty of people that have jobs that also go to school. And they seem to do both very well. It's a struggle. It's not easy, it's difficult, but they do it. And if you want to alleviate somebody having to go to work and make money doing something else other than what you want them to do, then pay them for you what it is that you want them to do. Because there's millions, if not billions of dollars paid to athletic organizations of these universities and colleges. And they're making millions and millions, if not billions of dollars. And you could afford to pay your top end students, the ones that are bringing the money in for you, the one that people are paying to see, because nobody pay. I don't care how famous a coach you are, Nick Saban or Deion Sanders. Nobody tunes in to watch them on the sideline. I mean, they're amazing coaches and amazing human beings, but nobody tunes in to see them. They tune in to see the players. So if you want them to be able to play and then focus on their education, then why not pay them for playing? Because that still has not been addressed. The only thing that's being addressed is basically endorsements, which when you're a professional athlete, that goes in addition to you being paid to play on the field. So if you want them to focus on that, on playing exclusively, and then going to class, then pay them for what it is that they're doing. They got a scripture. I hate to go scriptural, but the scripture says, don't muzzle the ox's mouth that plows the field. So basically, the workers that are making the money, don't prevent them from eating off the amount of money that they generate. That's all. It's simple. It's simple, man. This is America. You're supposed to, if you work, you're supposed to get paid. I don't care what age you are.
First of all, I love that new word, scriptural.
Scriptural.
Yeah.
That's dope. I don't want to get scriptural on you, but
Yeah, that's a real word, though.
First of all, well, I mean, in all fairness to Fig, that's from 1 Timothy 5:18, and scriptural is a word. I am a theologian.
I like that.
What he gave you was a word of silence, and sometimes you have to take those and see, Frank, they do want to laugh. I'm going to say this to you. Full disclosure, I have produced Deion Sanders on television and in radio. I know the man. He's a wonderful guy. I have nothing bad to say about him. But this guy, this corporate shill, would literally be ashamed of himself if prime time, Mr. Must Be the Money, so flashy he made MC Hammer look like a Puritan, is running around here talking about, oh, well, you know, they need to focus on their education. You show me an athlete. Name one that has a GPA above 2.75. It's rare. It's absolutely rare. You also know that these schools have people, especially, and they're usually really good-looking chicks, to take their test for them, tutor them, the whole nine. They fly them through that school because it's about money. The buildings are paid for. The books are paid for. Everything is about them. And where was all this talk when Pizza Hut and Pepsi and all of these corporations, Champion, Nike, everybody was getting their cut. Now you created a subcommittee in the NCAA, because I don't know if you guys have read this NIL nonsense, but I have. I'm going to it with a fine-tooth comb. They're still finding ways to chip away at as much money as these folks are making in. But they put them on posters. They do all of these things with them. And then they discard them because, you know, most of them are going to say the top 6 words that most failed college athletes get to say, which is, do you want fries with that? So, yeah, Prime can sit down as far as I'm concerned, because this is a nothing burger with extra cheese.
Wow. Talent. All right, the next thing is, man, this is gonna be a crazy story because you all might have saw it a little bit. Magic Johnson in the news, but Magic Johnson in the news for the wrong reasons. T. It seems that Magic Johnson and his people had to shut down a false social media claim that Magic was donating blood to the Red Cross. Now, you know how crazy that is, because he got diagnosed with HIV in 1991, and Magic and his people were highly upset that some people got on social media and were literally trying to spread this word and saying, look at this, Magic Johnson is literally out here donating blood, and he got HIV. So Magic's extremely upset about that and is filing lawsuits against anybody who even says that, you know what, I was out here donating blood, because, you know, he ain't donating blood to anybody, and especially not to the Red Cross. So Magic Johnson in the news, man. How crazy are we getting too far ahead of ourselves with the social media stuff? What you think?
Well, he ain't got it. You know, he ain't got it. Why he can't donate blood? He ain't got it.
Right.
You know, and more importantly, Frank, let's say he do got it. Give me some of that blood. If I'm gonna live that long with that, you got the thing. You know, you got the thing that survives the thing. Let me get some of that blood. That's like Blade. Blade,
The Daywalker.
Buffy. Blade, if Blade bit Magic Johnson, and Blade go, it's good, it's pretty good. And Blade, oh, that's another top 10 highlight from yesterday, man. And Frank, you should have seen your face. I caught you straight left field. Blade or Buffy. Frank was like, what? And then somebody yelled, what does that mean? They're both vampire slaves. But here's the thing. We know by, what year was that? 89? What was that?
When he got it? 1991.
91.
Yeah.
91.
91. 21 years ago.
31.
31.
Even worse. 31 years ago, you didn't die. Not only did he not die, Frank, we don't even have any footage of him going through the motion. You know what I'm saying? So whatever treatment Magic did, I'm going to tell you right now, man. I know I'm a little extra with the sci-fi stuff and conspiracy. He got to have a deal with the devil or a deal with somebody. It can't be what we think it is. So if you want to give blood, more power.
Talent, you're going straight to hell with the Blade and the reference. I just want you to know you're going straight there. Burning, smoking. Big. Magic Johnson in the news, man, and he's in the news for the wrong reasons, man. What's your take on Magic and people spreading rumors that he was donating blood to the Red Cross?
I think it's ridiculous. This is as ridiculous as Vampire in Brooklyn or Count Chocula.
That's funny.
Yo, man, and you know what, man? This stuff is ridiculous, man, because people are getting ridiculous with the things that they put on social media, but there's no repercussion. Here's the thing is that social media and the internet is so free is that there's no real regulation. Like you could say something and a bunch of people can see it, it could go viral and stuff like that. By the time they figure it out and take it down, it's too late. And why would somebody do that anyway? Like what's the motivation for that? Like, what are you going to get out of that? Clickbait is basically what they call clickbait. Like, imagine Magic Johnson doing something like that, which we know he didn't and probably wouldn't even think to do something like that. But for somebody to put something out there, that's what it's called egregious. Why would you do something like what kind of sick mind thinks of something like that and then puts it out there? Now those people need to be prosecuted. Those are the people that need it, not the person who sends a Richard picture. The people who do something like that need to be prosecuted. Richard people, I'm with you.
Okay, okay. You heard that, Dave? I know
he's
you
with
guys.
Richard.
Which one? I think
He's
talking
with
about he's talking about Little Richard.
Okay, so Little Richard. Okay, cool. I thought he was talking about Richard Sherman. Okay, got it. Got it. Here's the thing. I want to make three very quick points. The first one is I contend that Magic Johnson absolutely never had it. If he did, because do you remember Rocky V, Frank?
No, they all blend. To be honest.
No, Rocky V. Right after Rocky IV, it's he comes back from Russia and then he trains this white kid. It's supposed to be the Great White Hope, and then
that was
that was 5. No, that was 5. Rocky 6 is actually Rocky Balboa. There is technically no Rocky 6, but I digress. The kid who played the kid who fought Rocky on the SEPTA bus had the same type of HIV Magic had, and he's dead. He also claimed he was undetectable. Magic Johnson, if you look at that Apple TV Plus docuseries in his own words, he sat down with Dr. Fauci. And he said, I'm going to be the face of this thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, Talent. You're a little bit older than me. Name a heavyset well-to-do, clear-skinned AIDS patient who was as promiscuous as, well, for lack of a better term, you in '98, who didn't walk away with any type of drip, 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 drop. On top of that, he keeps playing in your face. His name is Magic Johnson.
Right.
What would he need a condom for?
Yeah.
It's in the name. It's like EA Sports. No, man. And anybody saying this, technically Magic Johnson could, in fact, give blood because he can't, he's literally, ask his doctors. He cannot transmit the disease. It's not even detectable on any test. So it's messed up and somebody's messing with him. But picking on Magic Johnson as if he's going to lose his TGI Fridays, his theaters, his stake in the LA Dodgers, and 37 other businesses I don't have time to name right now, is about as likely as people being turned on by the way my chest looks now that I've lost this weight, Frank. They're hacky sacks.
See, people want to laugh. Y'all was making fun of my man Dave. People want to laugh.
Wait, let's address this. Before we go in, put me up. Let's address this. Let me tell you, ne'er-do-wells, something.
Ne'er-do-wells.
You ne'er-do-wells. I'm entitled to not have an A+ show. Cosby thinks I'm funny. Carlin thought I was funny. Patrice thought I was funny. I'm still funny.
Yes,
it
you
happens.
are.
So, yeah. And I had a good night after the show, too.
Ooh. Okay. Let me address this.
Show us the photos. We want to see pictures.
No.
We know you funny.
I don't display my Richards.
So talent. Let's see. Kevin Durant news broke yesterday while we was on our way to New York. Everybody was on our way to head to Caroline's and everything else. We addressed it last night at Caroline's. It was a lot of funny going back and forth with that. But the news is that Kevin Durant is officially remaining with the Brooklyn Nets. And let's be honest, I think the Nets won in that negotiations, Brand, and that tactics. But Kevin Durant now has no choice. Nobody wanted him the way he wanted to do everything else. So what's your take on that, Steve?
You're nobody, because nobody wants you. You gotta sit your ass at home. Here's the thing. When nobody wants you, bro, I've had relationships like this. I'm out of here. You ain't this, you ain't that. You kiss my black ass, blah, blah, blah. Well, hope you all right after I leave. And ding dong. You back? You got nowhere to stay. Because nobody wants you. Let me explain something to you. And this is what anybody and everybody in a relationship needs to understand. When you find that person that wants your ass, do all the right things you need to do to stay in that comfortable zone of being with another significant other that wants your ass and you want their ass. And together, it's beautiful. The minute your ass start thinking you worth more than this person or better than this person, you better make sure there's a market for that. Because here's the thing. KD is too good for his own good. Let's really look at what happened. He's so good, to get him, you got to give up a lot. This is going to be any great player right now that's still in their prime time. You can go, I guarantee you right now, if Tatum, you Boston fan, if Tatum gets upset in the next couple of months and does a KD, the man out of here, they not letting him go cheap. Mm-hmm. He's the guy they looking at as their white horse. He's their unicorn. And they're going to be asking for the whole house from anybody who wants to take him to their team. And that's a big price to pay right now. Yeah. So after you keep picking up the phone, everybody's like, we're not doing that. Click. We're not doing that. Click. After 3 or 4 of those, sit your ass in this house. Sit down, and I want you to turn your face in that corner. You put this dunce hat on and really think about what's going on here. And when you get some clarity, you be like, you know what? I'm going to stay here, mommy. I'm going to stay here, daddy. That's him and the Nets. Mommy and daddy's the Nets. The baby is Durant. You're going to call Kyrie. Y'all go get, I don't care, go get some coffee, get a couple of Casamigos, work this damn thing out, and let's get back to business as usual.
Okay, all right. Fig, should now Golden State pick up the phone and call them now since Kevin Durant officially knows for the record that nobody wants you? Should that be when Golden State calls now and says, you know what, we'll take like how T just said, you know, when nobody wants you, now you get thrown to some, you know, like trash. You know what I mean? So now should Golden State call him?
You know what the thing is? I'm not even sure if it was really. Here's the thing with Kevin Durant. Rudy Gobert destroyed the trade market not only for Kevin Durant but a lot of other players too, because they gave up so much for him. You know what I mean? They gave up like 100 players and number round draft picks and stuff. So his value was so high that to get a player like Kevin Durant, which is far better than Rudy Gobert, it was just insane. Like, no, you would have had to gut your whole team for a player the quality of a Kevin Durant. Yeah, people wanted him, but they just didn't want they didn't want to pay the price. You know what I mean? It's like you going to the dealership and you look at a Bentley and they tell you it's going to cost more than your house, and you like, it ain't worth that. And then you go down to Chevrolet.
Right.
Because you can afford that. It wasn't that people didn't want Kevin Durant, it's that they couldn't afford him. And then the people, and then in Brooklyn, they paid him. You didn't even play the first game of your new contract, which was $146 million. You ain't played one game, and now you went out. Everything you asked for previously, we gave you. Kyrie, James Harden, DeAndre Jordan, paid him $40 million. Everything, Steve Nash, you signed off on him. Everything that you asked for, we gave you. Now it didn't work out. Now you want to leave.
Yeah.
You got a Bentley appetite, but Prius pockets.
There you go.
That's it saying right there too. 4 years, $146 million contract still left on his contract, man. And Kevin Durant's looking at everything around Dave. And I guess the thing I asked Fig, do you think if not Golden State, another team should call? Because now, you know, you gave the Nets the strength of positioning by demanding the trade. Now you know nobody wants you. So now where's everything at in your opinion, Dave? What you think?
I think and we gotta be fair and honest here. Kevin Durant is still one of the best players playing today. Point blank period. He also is about as loyal as a dog in heat. You know, we know this. Like he's going to go wherever he thinks he can. But guess what? This ain't a few years ago, bro. This ain't Oklahoma City. This ain't even Golden State. This is the Brooklyn Nets who have bent over backwards for you and giving you 9 figures, homie. Like, first of all, the fact that they have not developed an acetate strong enough to get through those naps with a comb. You need to calm down and humble yourself just a little bit, sir. Like, there are boars being sacrificed in labs right now to see if their bristles are strong enough to brush the back of Kevin Durant's head. And obviously, it's starting to affect his brain. And as a result of that, he honestly is overvaluing himself because, contrary to what he told his mama, he thinks he's the real MVP.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Since and I caught that, Dave. Since we're talking about money here and everything else, let's keep it going. We're talking about money, man. I got a news story up here, T, talking about that Allen Iverson. Reports are suggesting he allegedly had 35 families on payroll at one point. 35 families. So the question is what's enough is enough. You know what I mean? What's too much when you become an NBA player? You know what I mean? What's your take, T?
I don't know, man, because that's my soft spot. My soft spot is we come from such a low standard on the totem pole in this country that those of us who come that's come from the bottom, bro, God wants us to look out for the less fortunate. And sometimes it be like that, bro. I've had years where I took care of everybody but myself. And my siblings, I got 8 of us total. So 7 siblings, that's 7 families right there. And then my friends and their families. So I've been there where it's up in the teens at times. and I'm the last person I take care of. But that's me investing in making deposits in the Bank of Karma. I know I'll get it back, eventually. My heart is what it is. So I can't say that there's a cap on that because he got it like that. Allen Iverson, you're making that kind of money and taking care of 35 families. You don't know what that is. We don't know to what extent. One family may need a couple of grand a month. One family may need $1 million for the year. We don't know, but I can't say it's ever wrong, is what I'm saying. Like, these guys, they know they came from the bottom. They get in these real fortunate positions where they can help people, and they just do it. I say hats off to that. Kudos to that. I mean, of course, in the end, you may need something, put yourself in a predicament, but can't be mad at it.
You can't be mad at it, but Fig, you can't help other people until you help yourself first. You know what I mean? Allen Iverson would officially be bankrupt if he didn't have that Reebok deal that saved him for all these years. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what is too much and when is too much, I guess. You know what I mean? So what do you think?
When you have to feed somebody on a consistent basis, it's too much. And I say that because they say if you give a person a fish, you feed them for a day, but if you teach them how to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. And unfortunately, our culture, we haven't been afforded in a lot of our communities the financial education to be able to show somebody how I could give you a little bit and teach you how to multiply it. Like, had Allen Iverson possibly just gave everybody, I don't know what the situation is, but say Allen Iverson went out and bought a 4-family house for each one of those individuals, which at the time probably wouldn't have been that much money, and then have somebody educate them on how to manage those rents. You know what I mean? That rent money would have been your income for the month, plus whatever else that you was doing. He probably could have kept a lot of his money in his pocket.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, or if he could have taught them how to invest, had somebody who knows how to invest in the market and somebody who knows real estate, teach those 35 families how to take the little bit of money that he gave them and multiply it, be able to maintain it and grow it. We're not taught how to grow money. We're taught how to spend money. We're taught how to be consumers and how to put everything on your back and say, hey, look at me. And that's the unfortunate part, where a lot of the people who have a good heart, like Talent was talking about, they end up going broke because, you try and help everybody, but at the end of the day, not only do you end up sinking, everybody else ends up sinking with you.
Right. Dave, Allen Iverson helped out 35 families, not family members, but 35 separate families. And the report came out that they were all on his payroll. You know what I mean? That's what the report came out by the Associated Press. So I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked Talent and Fig. When is enough is enough? You know what I mean? If it was my dad, he would have helped out maybe one, and that's it. He would have been, you know what I mean? But then I know people like me and my wife, we would have helped out as many as we could, because you can't take it with you. You know what I mean? But so once enough is enough.
Oh, you can take it with you if you know what you're doing. I will say this to you, Frank. I don't understand how you have 35 families on your payroll and you're not writing that off on your taxes. That tells me you have a really, really crappy accountant. Point blank period. Because if you're on my payroll, that's an expense that I can then use to offset my taxes, or get some type of benefits. It's exactly why people like Jeff Bezos don't pay taxes, because they're job creators. If he's creating jobs for 35 families, somebody on the financial end isn't doing the right thing. And the other part of this, Frank, like I'm not trying to be funny here. I went to the worst high school in America, and I got a 724 on my SATs, but I also have a Mensa pin. So that goes to show you what happens when you're in an environment that isn't there to produce anything great out of you, right? Allen Iverson's a kid from Virginia, rural Virginia at that. And what do we always talk? Keep it real. Don't forget where you came from. Yeah, but I also contend that Hammer didn't forget where he came from. And he, between, helping out the hood and Arabian horses, like, we got to start making it. And this is my problem with these athletes and everybody talking about that's the key to getting out the hood. All these players association, all these agents, nobody yet has mandated that they take financial literacy and then a portion of their earnings automatically goes into some type of high yield bearing fund so that they have it. If it wasn't for Reebok creating that trust, Iverson would be broke because
Yep.
he was keeping it real.
Yep. Yeah, most definitely. Talent, my man Mike Tyson has a new series coming out this Thursday on Hulu, starring Trevante Rhodes. But the problem is this is another adaptation of a biopic that is not authorized by the person.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah, but at the same token, people are saying from Hollywood Reporter and everything else, this is a soft authorization. It's not. It doesn't go hard like it could, because it doesn't really touch base on the rape accusations. Doesn't touch base on a couple other different things that bother happened through Mike Tyson's thing. When you hear about another Mike Tyson, because even there's a Jamie Foxx thing coming out too. So that one is authorized by Mike Tyson. What's your take on this, bro?
I like the unauthorized version. Let me tell you why. When I authorize something, I'm putting my spin on it. When somebody from the outside is looking in, I love those stories because they're telling what they've seen and what they've seen factually and what they know from what they've seen. And that's always going to be a better, interesting story than me editing it to letting you know what I want you to know. No, I want to know what happened. Not the parts you want me to see. You know what I mean? If I don't want to, the movie stopped with me and her having a drink at the bar. You took her behind the bar and you banged her out. I want to see that. That's why when I watched The Winning Time, the Lakers joint, they caught a lot of hoopla. Everybody wanted to sue them. It's unauthorized. We coming out with our own thing. I'm watching the new one that they came out with, the official one with Magic in them. And I'll be honest with you, Frank, they solidified everything the other unofficial one did, except they softened the blow.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're smart enough and you live a grown lifestyle, you're like, yo, that really happened. They just tell it in a softer way, the way they want to tell it, and the verbiage they want to use and all that stuff. These guys just want to step forward and say, well, you know what happened? Jerry Buss was a big slut. But when you watch the other one, everything's, my dad, he hung out at the such and such club, and he was looking. Their dad was a slut, and I'm glad they told the story the right way. So some of these things, when they say authorized or unauthorized, that's all it really means is what I can air that you will approve or that you don't want the public. Because let's face it, some of these guys have these very likable images, and that's what the masses remember them as. And if I was to tell you what this person did, you might think twice about him, i.e., R. Kelly.
Fig. Talent just said something that was interesting because on The Winning Time, Magic had said before The Winning Time aired that he had sex with a lot of women. The Winning Time said the same thing, and Magic got mad because they said the same thing. So, do you agree with these Mike Tyson biopic pick and everything else? Because they seem to be saying some stuff. I don't even know. I haven't seen it yet, but people are up in arms. What's your take on this, Fig?
I'm interested because it has one of the lead characters from Down in the Valley where it got one of the lead. The dude playing Mike Tyson is one of the lead characters from P Valley. So I'm like, I want to see this. This is gonna be interesting. But they ain't gotta worry about me being liking it or not. They gotta worry about if Mike Tyson is actually mad about it. Because he might come see you. So, that's what you got to be worried about. But the truth is the truth, man, and it's gonna come out. What they really don't want to come out is that the things that they locking up people that look like the three of us, the four of us on this show here. Those are the ones that get to go to prison. But the dudes like Hefner that had a whole mansion full of young girls running around half dressed and was doing all kind of things that are illegal in the United States of America, he got celebrated.
Right.
And that's the stuff they don't want you to know. And I don't know why they don't want you to know, because it's already been like the rumors have already gone out, and people that have a sense, like Talent was saying, we know what happened. You understand? We know what happened, but nobody wants to talk about it. And even we talked about Bill Cosby. A lot of that stuff, all of these things that those women came out and said about Bill Cosby, A lot of that stuff happened at the Playboy Mansion that people are celebrating, but they ain't going after the owners. They not going after the people that own the Playboy Mansion. I don't know, man. I'm just like, it is what it is. Tell the truth and shame the devil. You did it. If you're ashamed of it, maybe you shouldn't have.
Yeah, the business bully. Tell me what your thoughts are, bro. Because at the end of the day, Mike Tyson biopic is coming. It's unauthorized, and being as unauthorized, they might reveal some stuff that we don't know that Mike don't want us to know, or maybe they won't. What's your take on it?
I mean, at this point, everybody knows, Mike was a two-bit stick-up kid that had some raw talent that got developed and cultivated. We also know the kind of lifestyle he lived. We also understand what it was like in the 80s and 90s. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. I also live in a world where, while I don't believe in victimizing the victims, I get tired of that being the one thing. Like, this man has redeemed himself, and then on top of that, like, and I'm sorry, I have two daughters. I'm also someone who has been sexually assaulted. My daughters know not to go anywhere at 2:00 in the morning. Period. Like, Mike Tyson is constantly everybody's whipping boy because they know the only thing that Mike Tyson can do is cuss people out, because if he hits them, because his hands are deadly weapons, then it opens him up for a lawsuit. Like, the man, I ain't seen a Mike caged up like this since Michael Jackson. Like, they just do whatever they want to do with this man, and he's supposed to be cool with it, and he's had enough. I think the story that Jamie is going to tell, talks about stuff that people don't really want to talk about, and that's the time that Mike was in jail, and how he felt about people not constantly coming to him, asking him for money, leeching off of him, exploiting his name, those types of things. It is what it is. They're going to continue to make these things. Mike Tyson is an icon, and unfortunately, as much as I don't like it, that's the part of being an icon that comes with it.
Yeah, I agree with that one too. In other news, the Los Angeles Lakers are interested in trading for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's, as we all know, he's part of that Utah dump. You know what I mean? Utah Jazz dumped everybody. They try to get Donovan Mitchell too. Donovan Mitchell's rumored to go to the Knicks. He's rumored to go to a couple of places, everything else. But the Lakers throwing a monkey wrench in this, man. What's your take on this, man? You think that he'll land at the Lakers because of the Knicks issues with tampering, or what are your thoughts?
Well, if he lands with the Lakers, it won't be because of our issues. It'll be because now Kyrie's staying put, because that's who they were trying to get. But now with that thing, staying home with the Nets pushes them in another direction. And the Lakers are a shady organization to the point where they'll do whatever it takes to get what they want. You know what I mean? You think we in trouble for tampering? Wait till the Lakers get involved. And I think that's the only way they end up with it, by doing something that people may deem tampering or shady to get them. But Utah has made up their mind, which is crazy, because for a team to take so long to get where they did in the last 2 seasons, and then just say we're going to shake things up and, if you will, Yahtzee the damn thing all over again, it's a little different for me, man. To me, Utah's bad timing for what they're doing right now.
Yeah, but Utah is they got that new executive, Danny Ainge, and he came in and he's making a whole bunch of changes. He's trading away Rudy Gobert. He got a lot of draft picks.
Everybody that spends too much time in Boston is crazy. Everybody knows.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What you talking about?
Your reflex was very quick on that one, though.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. Go, move on. Man, let me tell you what it is, Frank. Here's the thing. I found out what the penalty for tampering is. It's a second-round draft pick. It's not going to hurt anybody. A second-round draft pick is what the penalty for tampering is. Going back previously, anybody that's been accused of tampering and found out that they were tampering, the penalty is the second-round draft pick. Now, here's the thing. The Lakers don't have any draft picks, and they don't have any tradable players. Anybody with any salt or anything worth any value is LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and they can't give up either one of them. Nobody wants Russell Westbrook. Nobody. He's getting paid over $40 million. And if you're going to trade Russell Westbrook for Donovan Mitchell, you're a fool. They got maybe one draft pick. And they holding on to that like the Hope Diamond. They got one. We're not getting off this draft pick. So what are they going to trade for Donovan Mitchell? What are they going to give them? A piece of the franchise? Because they don't have anything else. I can't imagine what they can possibly offer. That what Danny Ainge is talking about, I need 6 first-round draft picks. Where are the Lakers getting 6? They got 1. They need to go buy 5 more. From where?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the capital.
Dave, the Lakers
Yes,
are interested in Donovan Mitchell. Are the Lakers going to pull this off? Are the Lakers just testing the waters? Is Donovan Mitchell just even going to land there because the Knicks messed up? Like, there's a whole bunch of things that's stemming from this root of this tree. Talk to me. What you think?
Salary cap notwithstanding, Frank, the Lakers have a solution from a financial standpoint. It is securing deals that make sense, that are specifically catered towards the way that the Lakers team is made up right now. Primarily, off the top of my head, I can think of Aspercream, Bengay, Icy Hot, Bear aspirin to prevent heart attacks. The medical equipment companies that handle walkers and hover-rounds. Hover-rounds is a good one too. Like, there's plenty of things to do to help these senior citizens get to the next level. And I think that, the Los Angeles Lakers has a legacy of taking care of our elderly. I think they should also do a calendar for AARP. I think those things could really, turn this whole situation around so that maybe Donovan Mitchell is not so far out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be surprised at figuring out how this happens. I'm gonna be really surprised to happen this happen. But before we get ready to roll up out of here, man, I want to officially thank you, Talent. I want to officially thank you, Fig. I want to officially thank Dave. I want and Mike Sean and Rodney Perry for coming out last night, trying to get this box seats thing, to tour. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank the ladies and gentlemen who are watching the show. I want to thank all of them who tried to make it, weren't able to make it. But you guys, if you have any last thoughts you want to say on the show, I'm just so blown away, man. I mean, literally, while I was driving back home last night, I was so proud of what we were able to accomplish. Because I don't know if you guys realize it, but 2 years ago, me and Fig were having a conversation, and literally 2 years later, we're at Caroline's and about to do a tour. You know what I mean? So it's manifested into something that could be even bigger, because it looks like we might lock in 15 cities. So I'm really excited about that. And I want to just express my thanks and gratitude to all you all while I have you all here. But if you all want to throw out there some words of what your thoughts, T, I'll start with you, man, because T, you was phenomenal last night, bro. Like,
I had a good time, right? I think it was great. I think it was hilarious. And the people, what made it so special to me is, I always say the audience is the X factor, because we could plan for a lot of stuff. You can't plan for your audience, so you don't know that. And I say like this: you don't know how many sports savvy people are going to be in the audience, right? And let's say you had 6 to 10 of them in our audience who didn't know what they were signing up for, so to speak, and come in.
Yeah.
And to win them over was even more incredible. It's one thing they have a bunch of, because we had a table of 5, 6 girls who was on it with their sports stuff. You know what I mean? And I think that was dope. And then the people who may have not know what they were in for, to watch their faces along the way and turn them, so to speak, and win them over, I thought it was great. It was a great combination of the two.
Yeah. And I got to bow down and Fig, because he's been telling me for 8 months to a year easily, Frank, when we get to do this thing live, it's going to be different. It's a different energy. We going to go back and forth. And I'm like, Fig, I see it. I mean, I see it. But I really didn't see it the way Fig saw it. So I just have to bow down to Fig, because Fig saw it clearly, man. And he knew you guys were going to do your thing. So, Fig, you could give me your last thought on what
I echo what Talon said, man. It's just that the audience brings a different dynamic. It's like when you talk about sports and they're playing in the playoffs, and they always say that the crowd is the 6th man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to comedy, it's like the audience is always the 6th man, and they bring a different energy. I sort of make a comparison to this, is that I've seen tapings of comedy shows where a comedian will destroy the room. I mean, the energy in the room is so amazing and crazy. People, it's a buzz. But when you go back after the filming and you see the recorded version of it, it never captures the full energy and impact of what it is live. And that's why I always kept saying, if we do it live, you'll see another dynamic, because I know even as good as we are on here, live is a different energy. And like Talent said, you can't prepare for what an audience, a real crowd will give you. And it brings up what it does. It brings another type of energy out of you. The audience sort of pulls on you, and they bring stuff out of you that's really creative when you have creative minds that was on that stage last night. And I think that's what happened. And I think that's what will continue to happen if we do live shows. And I think it's not even about the questions. I think every show will be different, because every audience will be different, and every comedian, every participant will have something else to give. Yeah, it's just the way that it happens.
Right. And Dave, you haven't been on with us you haven't been with us when we started, but you came in. And obviously you came in and gave us your perspective and everything else last night. You didn't have the greatest set last night, and obviously the guys let you know that and everything else. But the great thing,
they let everybody know that, Frank.
I'm sorry, but here's the thing: the greatest thing is that you have a chance to redeem yourself, because the guys said one thing, and I know you got a chance to redeem yourself. Everything. You're very intelligent. You're very funny on this show, which is what everybody likes. You know what I mean? We like the camaraderie here and everything else. You're funny here. You're going to be funny at the next one. We have no issue with you and everything else. I want to thank you for driving up from Philly last night for an hour and a half of your time to come in and do that too. So I want to thank you. And if you had any last thoughts you wanted to throw out there, bro.
No, I mean, I had a great time. Like, for me, it's always like, I got a buddy of mine, Carl Douglas, out of Atlanta, and he says to me all the time, he said, Dave, the problem is you're trying to be Carlin in the DC Young Fly world. So sometimes I get a bit cerebral. It's just my shit. The thing I will say is I want to thank All Hip Hop for posting it. I want to thank my gang for coming through. Like, I had like 10 or 15 of my people come up. Like, I had such a good time. Like, regardless of anything, I just had a ball. And it's always good to bust it up with folks, man. And that energy is infectious. And I knew that no matter what, it was going to be, it was going to be amazing. And it was, man. I'm on Marion right now. I don't feel no type of ways.
There it is. Dave, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
Yo, Frank, wait a minute. Can I say one last thing that nobody said? That table that Talent was talking about, those were Dave's people, man. Them females that was at that table that had that amazing energy and knew their sports, those were people that Dave had invited to come out, man. So big kudos to Dave for inviting them out, because they had amazing energy.
Yeah. I need a phone number from that table, Dave. I didn't know that.
Yeah, which one?
Yeah,
we'll talk. It's fine. I got them all. You can find me at The Business Bully on all social media platforms, and apparently in Talent's Rolodex right after the show.
And after the show. Here's the thing. Shout out to Dave and Rodney Perry for wearing the same sweatsuit.
Yo, first of all, I literally said I'm just gonna wear the sweatsuit because the sneakers are a bit much. I said, so I'm gonna just do a sweatsuit. Don't you know Rodney Perry bought the sweatsuit 20 minutes before he showed up at Carolina?
Hey, I didn't say nothing about that. That's what you know. I didn't even mention it. Act like you didn't.
No, see, but it's okay. Listen, me and Rodney Perry may have worn the same sweatsuit, and because Rodney Perry is a big reason why I got back in the comedy. He was like, "Come on, boy, do the show with me." I said, "Okay, cool." The thing of it is, neither Rodney Perry or I, as far as we know, have drinking our own urine.
Listen, you can follow me on social media platforms at Comedian Fig. Dave, I got that number for you, man. I need to reach out to you. What you asked me for last night.
Yes, sir.
You know what Talent's talking about.
No, I know what Talent's talking about.
Everybody they can follow you. I got to wrap this up. See, tell everybody they follow you, bro.
All right. First of all, Dave is mad petty.
I know.
I'm petty.
That's mad petty. Let me tell you something. You should be shouting out E.J. Johnson designing. Anyway, talented comedian on Instagram, people. Box seats.
Yeah, the show's called Box Seats. One every Monday through Friday, 1 to 2. We do a repeat from 7 to 8. Also, another repeat from 11 to 12. It also comes on the Humor Mill and on the Humor Mill app. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We get ready to announce the tour and everything else, man, for the live show, which is going to feature Talent, Fig, Dave, Business Bully, Rodney Perry. We're also going to mix and match some comics. You might even end up seeing Kenny Williams. You might see a couple other comics like Daniel Dugard, different locations and everything else. Shout out to all the people who came out. Shout out to the people who continue to watch and support. Thank you all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's see if the button sticks today. I'm exhausted. I'm getting ready to go take a nap. For real.